Hey, what's going on? Hey, it's been a while. Hold on, let me turn my light on. How y'all doing out there today? Take a ride with me. You know, one thing I know that I haven't posted a lot of new videos in the new year yet because I've been getting a lot of material ready and just different things like that. It's snowing where I'm at now, so we're gonna take a safe ride. We're gonna talk. I want to talk to you about the top 10 reasons why people make poor financial decisions, right? And some of these mistakes I've even made. And I'm gonna go through them, you know, in a good, timely manner while I safely drive up this snowy hill. And let's just talk about it. Let's have a real conversation. So the first thing is, people fail to go out, seek, learn, and attain the knowledge that they need to make better financial decisions. So number one is going to be the lack of financial education, right? Now, because you don't know everything doesn't mean you're dumb or you're ignorant or anything like that. Sometimes it just means you don't know what you don't know. So you might ask me, well, where do you get the information from, right? The basics might have been skipped for me, right? Budgeting and saving and investing, right? What if those basics had been skipped for me? So I'm making uninformed decisions over and over and over, and I keep finding myself in the same hole. Well, listen, the information's out there. I know it's a lot of different apps, especially for like investing, new time investor, first time investors that will educate you while you do it, like Stash, Acorns, Robinhood. There's a lot of them. I know that like Rocket Money and Experian has different apps so you can see what things you're spending money on or wasting money on, right? I do some of that. What your subscriptions are, you can cancel them. They'll negotiate cancellation fees, some different things like that. I'm not getting paid for none of that. This is just me talking to you, so take advantage. And then as far as like learning, you know, getting good education on smart financial decisions, you could always look at things like YouTube. I actually have another YouTube channel, Savings and Invest. So check that out. I'll put a link to it down here where all I talk about is investing, saving, budgeting. I got some videos, some live videos, some animated videos, some informative videos. All of them, you can get something out of it to where you can learn about savings and investing. So take advantage of things like YouTube, TikTok, social media, different platforms. There's so many different gurus and all that stuff out there. Shout out to y'all. But you can get that information a lot of times free. And if you want to pay for it and get a different level of it, that's out there too, right? So lack of financial education can no longer be an excuse, all right? Not for nobody, right? African Americans, ladies, minorities, whatever, doesn't matter. The information's out there. Someone said if you put it in a book, all right, go out there and get that information. Number two, why we make poor financial decisions is emotional spending, all right? I do this. I'm shopping right now for a 98-inch TV that I don't need, that my partner is like, But here's the deal. I'm a Knicks fan, and the Knicks doing real good, so it's kind of like a celebratory purchase, if you will. I just want to see them on a big screen. But in all seriousness, there's some really good deals out there for some stuff. So I'm arriving at my destination, so I'm going to safely park this car. So yeah, emotional spending. Look, using money to cope with stress, sadness, boredom, it often results in unnecessary purchases. So be careful. I would say if it's a big purchase and it's something you really, really want, make sure you put some time and dedication and some thought into it to make sure it's something that you need, right? And then you can look at your need and want scale. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Sometimes we have needs that may take a little bit over our wants, whatever the case may be. That's on you. Sorry, somebody was messaging me. That's on you. Just make sure that you're properly looking at it so you can make good, strong financial decisions, right? That also leads to like impulse buying, right? And impulse buying is really just acting on that urge to buy something without considering its long-term value or if it's a necessity or not. So kind of what we just talked about, just make sure that you plan it out, right? I'm a big writer, journal, etc. Make sure you plan it out, make sure it makes sense. And if it lines up with what you need to be in the direction that you need to be going, go for it. If it doesn't, pump the brakes, right? Put it on the back burner. Look at spending your money somewhere else, right? Number 4, living beyond your means. I've done it. You might have done it. You might know somebody who's done it. right? Sometimes, there's some expenses that you just don't need. You just want to live above your means, right? I know there's a lot of like little sayings about if you can't buy it twice, or if your savings can't. Cool. Go with whatever saying best fits you. I'm going to tell you like this. Take a look at that large purchase, right? And really, really just do your own self-analysis. The best way to hold yourself accountable is to be honest with yourself. I'm telling you the truth. Being honest with yourself is going to be the best way. It doesn't matter what Mr. J. Howard says. It doesn't matter what such and such says or anybody else. You got to be honest with yourself. You know what your bank account look like. You know what your bank account look like. You know what your savings look like. Yeah, I would say make sure you're on top of that stuff, and you need to know what you can and cannot afford. So definitely be careful trying to spend more than you earn, right? Don't be relying on credit to maintain a lifestyle that you can't afford. But I will say, get you another stream of income. Get the income in that can cover some of those expenses or those needs or wants or whatever, so you can live on what's actually in your bank account, right? The next thing, this is a hot one, ignoring budgets. Failing to create or stick to a budget makes it easy to lose track of your spending. Don't do it, right? So many different apps out there. It's 2025, ladies and gentlemen. There's no excuse. You can have 1,000 apps for 1,000 different things. Making a budget, you no longer have to do it on pen and paper if you don't want to. You no longer have to do it on Excel spreadsheet if you don't want to. Apple users, I think you got like a version of Excel, whatever, or Google Sheets, whatever the case may be. Budgets are essential. Make sure you build a budget. Make sure you're sticking to it. Plan for things, right? Number 6, lack of financial goals. You know what not having a budget does? It leads you to having a lack of financial goals, a lack of what your needs are, knowing how much money you have to spend. Look, you have no clear objectives, right? And it's difficult to make disciplined decisions and strategic financial decisions if you have no direction. So make sure you have financial goals. Number 7, because I want to speed this up. Underestimating your small expenses. Some of those apps I mentioned in the beginning are going to help you with this. I can't tell you how many times that commercial has came on with the Rocket Money where they say, we'll give you $1,000 or we'll give you a new car if you could tell us how many subscriptions you got. And I always go, I wonder if I forgot to turn off anything. Those 7-day trials, and you don't turn them off, you overlook how those small frequent costs will build and add up. And they start taking out mountains and chunks of money out of your account every month because you're not noticing them because they're in small incremental pieces. Also, frequent coffee runs. All right. Star what? Okay. All right. How many times a month do you go there? How much does that add up? How much would it be if you just bought some of the same coffee and brewed it at home? Got up a little bit earlier, took care of your business so you didn't have to sit in the drive-thru, and then you factoring in the time. Listen, it adds up, right? And if that money's adding up, but you're not doing this next step, number 8, failing to save. If you don't prioritize your current wants over building an emergency fund or long-term savings plan, you're setting yourself up for failure. There's a lot of different savings rules and mantras and different things that you could try to follow and, learn from and let guide you. I would say do the one that best fits you. Some people believe you build a savings so you can handle at least 6 months of your expenses. I think that's a good rule to follow. I would say probably go a little further, especially when the economy is taking a downturn, if it's going step ladders up. Like, it's so many different ways that you need to put mindset into a strategic plan that fits you. What can your family handle, afford if you had to take a hit in this area, that area, and what would you need to get through it, right? Number 9, following trends. Oh my goodness. The TikTok trend for this remote version of whatever, the Facebook trend, and you start spending money on trends, trying to keep up with others without considering your personal responsibilities and priorities. I done bought a couple gadgets, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a lot of people out there buying gadgets, all right? They come so quick and easy, and all you got to do is click 2 buttons and it's in the mailbox. It's on the way to you. Watch how it adds up. Be careful. You probably didn't need that extra gadget that does all of this other. Just be careful with that. Number 10, procrastination. Listen, procrastination can attack your bank account too, all right? Delaying important financial decisions like savings for retirements, paying off debt, it's going to lead to higher costs later. Sometimes you sign up for something because the payment's so stretched out, you believe, oh, that's not gonna hurt me. It's just $80 a month. I'll go even lower. It's just $12 a month. $12 a month, but the interest on the back end of that, big girl, yeah, that's gonna hurt. All right, big girl, big boys, that had nothing to do with nothing. All right, so anyway, pay attention to those interest rates. All right, sometimes you're signing up for something, and because you're not paying attention to the back end, you don't realize that's how they make their money. They okay if you stretch that $10 payment out for the next 10 years, because when you're done paying for that $100 item, it's going to be $10,000. That's a gigantic example, but be careful. I know there's a lot of laws and a lot of different fights right now to cap interest rates on certain things. I'm all for it. And I'm a business guy, right? But I absolutely believe rates have gotten out of control for a lot of different things. I don't mind the government stepping in to get that stuff back regulated. We're one of the main countries that do high interest rates, fluctuating interest rates, and you can't lock this in. So be careful, all right? Don't mean to get political, geopolitical. I just want to speak facts to you, all right? I go by Mr. J. Howard. We're just riding and talking. But that's 10 ways that you're going to save money this year in 2025. We're going to be strategic. We're going to be smart. Check out my other channel, Savings and Invest. I'm excited to be back on YouTube. I'll talk to y'all later. Jay.